Okay, so let's dive into something you've probably seen at a big office party. That one giant, really impressive platter of food that kicks everything off. And let me tell you, if you think it's just an appetizer, you're missing the whole story. Forget the speeches for a minute, because the real summary of the corporate year, it's right there, served on a plate.
And that quote, it is exactly what we're doing today. We're going to unpack the hidden meaning behind the very first and, you could argue, the most important dish at a traditional Taiwanese year-end office banquet. It's often called the Five Fortunes platter, and believe me, it's so much more than just a starter.
I mean, it's a great question, right? How can one appetizer hold that much weight? Well, it turns out this platter is basically your entire workplace in miniature. A delicious, edible annual report on all the successes, the struggles, and yes, even the office politics. So stick with us, because we are going to decode this thing piece by delicious piece.
All right, first things first. Before anyone even thinks about picking up their chopsticks, this dish makes a huge statement. This isn't just about getting the meal started, it's the company's opening argument for the whole year.
So you got to understand the concept of face. It's all about honor, reputation, and it's a huge deal. The second this massive, elaborate platter hits the table, it sends a clear signal about the company's financial health, about its generosity. The more impressive the platter, the higher the company's gold content for the year. It's the first and most obvious sign that things are going well.
Now this is where it gets really funny. You have this traditional concept, the Five Fortunes, which are supposed to be about longevity, wealth, health, virtue, and a good end to life. But at the office banquet, yeah, they get a corporate makeover. Now, the Five Fortunes are getting a raise, landing a promotion, leaving work on time, having your boss go on a long business trip, and of course, that massive year-end bonus.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty and decode the platter itself. This is where every single ingredient tells a story about life in the workplace, and it gets so specific and, honestly, pretty relatable. First up, you've got the star of the show, the most prized, most expensive item on the plate, the mullet roe. With that golden orange color and that rich, salty taste, it's an instant symbol of wealth. A platter without mullet roe, it feels about as empty as a year without a bonus. But the symbolism goes way deeper than just money. See, mullet roe is cured under incredible pressure, and that's what transforms it into a delicacy. And that's just like in the office, isn't it? It's through all that pressure, all those challenges, that employees really hone their skills and become truly valuable to the team.
Next, you'll probably find some chewy seafood, like squid or maybe some abalone. Here, it's all about the texture. To make it in any workplace, you have to be flexible, right? You got to be able to bend without breaking. When your boss suddenly wants you to pivot, you can't just stand there stiff as a board. You've got to adapt, maybe with a little elegant sidestep.
And you know that 5-flavor sauce that usually comes with it? Well, that's just office life in a dipping bowl. The sour, that's for all the grievances and the tough feedback. The sweet, that's the rewards, the praise, the bonuses. And the spicy, well, that's for all those unexpected challenges that pop up out of nowhere. You mix them all together, and you get the complex, unmistakable taste of a year on the job.
The third player on our plate is often a beautifully prepared oiled chicken. Now, in Taiwanese, the word for chicken, ji, sounds just like the word for home or foundation. So this dish represents the company itself. It's the stable base that provides jobs for everyone.
So eating the chicken is kind of like a moment of gratitude. It's recognizing that the company is the big tree that gives shelter to all the little birds, that's us, the employees. And yeah, even if that tree gets shaken by a few typhoons during the year, it's still the foundation that supports everybody.
All right, let's talk about an ingredient that's easy to overlook but plays such a critical role. That crunchy, refreshing jellyfish salad. It might not be the headliner, but its job is absolutely essential, both on the plate and back at the office.
The jellyfish represents the buffers in the company. You know who I'm talking about, your project managers, your admin staff. They're the people who absorb all the pressure and provide this cool, crisp cushion between clashing departments or, those really demanding clients. They just take in all the different flavors and somehow manage to create a refreshing sense of order. And finally, we have the fifth element, which is often a variable. It could be some smoked fish, a special kind of meat roll, maybe some crab salad. This is the chef's wild card, and it's the perfect metaphor for the completely unpredictable nature of work.
This element is that surprise project that just lands on your desk out of nowhere.
Or maybe it's the colleague who suddenly quits, leaving all their work behind for you. It can be a good surprise, or it can be a really challenging one. But either way, it's part of the platter, and your job is to take it on and, with any luck, turn it into something delicious.
Now let's zoom out from the food itself and look at the people around the table. Because how you attack this platter says everything about where you stand in the office hierarchy. This is where the real fun begins.
Okay, first you've got the newbie. Their eyes are absolutely glued to that fancy mullet row, but their chopsticks are totally frozen. They're not making a move until the boss does. Then you have the manager. They'll give a gracious wave of the hand, say, "Everyone, please dig in." And then they'll strategically pick up a piece of jellyfish, showing humility while they're really just saving their appetite for the main courses. And finally, the veteran. This person is a platter hunter. They know exactly which piece of chicken is the juiciest, and they move with a swift, silent, deadly precision.
But beyond all the status games and the politics, this dish serves a much deeper, more emotional purpose. It's really a moment of shared healing for the whole team.
Think about it. In that moment, when everyone takes their first bite of this cold platter, something just shifts. That cool, savory taste is like a signal to your brain, vacation mode activated. Suddenly, the spreadsheets, the deadlines, the KPIs, they all just fade into the background. It's this collective, unspoken sigh of relief that says, we made it.
And really, that's what this platter is all about in the end. It's the whole team, right there on a plate. You've got ingredients from different places, land and sea, representing different departments. They've all got different flavors and textures, spicy, sweet, chewy, crisp, which is just like all the diverse personalities on the team. But when you bring them all together, they create one complete, harmonious, and really successful dish.
So as we wrap this up, just remember what this platter truly is. It's a reward for a year of really hard work, and it's a taste of optimism for whatever's coming next.
Let's end with a few of the clever, funny toasts that you might hear at one of these banquets. Toasts like, "Eat a piece of mullet roe, and may your bonus be so big your hands tremble." Or how about, "Have a slice of oiled chicken, and may your boss never, ever bother you again." It's all about closing out the year with a good laugh, and looking forward to the next one.
And that brings us to the end. So the next time you're at a big celebratory meal, take a closer look at that very first dish. It might be telling you a lot more than you think. And I'll leave you with this question to chew on. If you had to pick one single dish to sum up your last year of work, what would it be?